I don't know about you, but when I watch the Rumble, I get excited at the possibilities of who can be WWE's next big star, who can come out of the Rumble with this great opportunity, take full advantage of it, and come out as one of WWE's biggest stars on the other side. So in this video, we're going to go through 3 different possibilities, both in the men's and the women's Rumble, of who WWE could and should book as winning the whole damn thing. Now let's get into it. Look, you're already here. Hit that subscribe button. So we're going to start with the women's Rumble. And I'm not going to lie to you, the possibilities here are bleak. WWE has done such a terrible job with their women's division in 2025. And of course, right, we have our superstars. We have our Rhea Ripleys. We have our Charlotte Flairs. We have our Io Skys. Great. All of these women are great. And honestly, if any of them, maybe not Charlotte, but if any of them win the Rumble, I wouldn't be mad at it. However, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to give you something that might make you think, not the typical winners. And unfortunately, I'm going to spoil this ahead of time. When it comes to the women, I just don't have a list like that for you. These are maybe some expected winners, but in my opinion, they're the right winners. Again, it's only WWE's fault. They're the ones who just don't know how to book a women's division. I'm going to start off with the most surprising winner, who I think would be the biggest surprise if they won, who would have people shocked. Some people might not like it, but I think that they would make a great Royal Rumble winner and a great WrestleMania contender. And that person for me, if you guys have watched this channel for some time, if you guys have watched more than one video on this channel, you guys know Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green has come so long in this last year. What she's done both in AAA as a mixed tag team champion, what she's done in her short stints, her short visits on NXT have been great. What she's done with the US title in this last calendar year has been absolutely amazing. So I think that she absolutely deserves a shot at the big one. Do I think that she would make a better Money in the Bank winner than a Royal Rumble winner? Absolutely. A heel, coward Chelsea Green would make an amazing Money in the Bank winner. Miss Money in the Bank Chelsea Green would be the best thing to happen to WWE in a long time. But I don't think it's a bad idea to have her win the Rumble. If you guys saw the first season of WWE Unreal, you guys heard them talk about this idea of having number 28 and 29 in the Rumble eliminate each other, leaving an open ring for number 30 to come out, and number 30 to just come out and be the winner. And they talked about it being Chelsea Green, and I think that that idea would be absolutely amazing. It sucks. It sucks that they spoiled it on this show, because I think having it happen in real time and none of us know what's going on would be phenomenal. It would break the internet. But they did spoil it. I still don't think it's a bad idea. So I think that the biggest surprise and a really good idea for a winner to win the Women's Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia. Also, don't get me started with Saudi Rumble. Like, we're going to put all these women in bodysuits and have them not wear their gear, not do what they normally do. It's terrible and it's stupid, and WWE is awful for having it there. But hey, they're getting paid a lot of money, so I guess that's the only thing that matters, right? Anyway, Chelsea Green is my number one wishful pick to be the WWE Women's Royal Rumble winner in 2026. All right, these next two are a little bit boring because, yeah, they're a little bit predictable. I'm not going to lie to you. But how amazing would it be if there is a champion, Raquel Rodriguez? Because I do think that that's where WWE is going. I don't know how they're going to get there, but I feel like that's where they're going, and I'm okay with that. So what if there is a champion, Raquel Rodriguez, and Liv Morgan wins the Rumble? How amazing would that be, right? We would have the Judgment Day fallout, right? They could be like, hey, look, it just so happened that this is what happened. It's not my fault, especially because I feel like at the Rumble, they're going to give us Stephanie Vaquer versus Raquel Rodriguez. So if we have Liv win the Rumble first, because the Women's Rumble always comes first with WWE. The Women's Rumble is always the first match of that night. So we're going to get the Women's Rumble first. We have Liv Morgan come out as the winner. And then in the championship match, we have Raquel beat Stephanie Vaquer for the title. That would be absolutely amazing. And sure, we can maybe tease that Liv will go after the WWE, what is it, World Women's title over on Smackdown, teasing that she's not going to go after Raquel Rodriguez for that title. But then ultimately, it leads down that way. I don't know how or why or what we do to get there to make it feel like this was her only choice. But I think giving us Raquel Rodriguez versus Liv Morgan at WrestleMania would do so much for this Judgment Day story, right? And there could be a lot of passive aggressive segments in the back, right? Where like they're still friendly, but Liv definitely wants the title. And they're still friendly, but Raquel definitely doesn't trust Liv. So people choosing sides, right? Roxanne Perez choosing sides, Finn Balor choosing sides, ultimately Dominic Mysterio getting caught in the middle of this whole thing. He has to choose his güerita, right? But he still has to keep the Judgment Day together somehow. I think that this story would be absolutely amazing for WWE. It would do so much for this Judgment Day storyline that honestly has overstayed its welcome. So my pick, my number 2 pick for winning the Rumble would be Liv Morgan, but only if Raquel Rodriguez is our champion. All right, and lastly, I think the most obvious pick, what's all over the internet, what everybody seems to want, and honestly, I think it makes the most sense too. I think that it's a match that we've been wanting to see for a while, and it's a return. It's a return of someone we haven't seen on TV for a while, and that would be Bianca Belair winning the Women's Royal Rumble and going after Jade Cargill for that championship. I think, like I said, this is a storyline that has been in the back burner for a while. I think that we were planned to get a triple threat match at some point between Bianca, Jade, and Naomi. Of course, Naomi's out. She's pregnant. She won't be back by the Rumble. She won't be back by Mania. Good for her. We have this heelish Jade that wasn't there when Bianca left injured, right? So Bianca comes back to reunite with her friend, right? She wins the Rumble. She's like, oh, Jade, we can both be champions. And Jade's just like, we're not on the same level anymore. I do think that when Bianca comes back, she comes back as this clueless babyface who is just trying to be friends with her friend. But Jade's changed. Jade thinks she's better than Bianca now because Jade's a champion. And look, we were on the same level, maybe. We were tag team champions together, fine, sure. But we're not on the same level anymore. I'm a champion now, and who are you? And I think that we head down that road of friends becoming enemies, and we eventually get that main event that, honestly, I really want to see, which is Bianca Belair versus Jade Cargill. So, like I said, this is a little bit of a boring pick, but it's an obvious pick for a reason. So, Bianca Belair to win the Women's Rumble. All right, now for the fun part. And I say this again because WWE just does such a terrible job of booking its women division on the main roster. Like, down the line, main eventers, mid card, all of these divisions have been so thin. Like there just isn't a lot of substance there. Sure, some of it has to do with injuries, but I think we just got to call it what we got to call it, and it's Triple H's bad booking. He doesn't know how to book the women's division in a strong way, in such a strong way as he can the men. So, moving on to the men's Rumble, we have a lot of possibilities here. We have some people that have just recently been called up. We have some people that are gunning for titles on each of the 2 rosters, right? For example, my first pick is going to be the most obvious pick, and it's still an exciting pick, though, even though it's an obvious pick. And that pick for me would be Braun Breaker. Braun Breaker winning the Royal Rumble after losing his first title shot to CM Punk in order for him to redeem himself, to have a justification to go after that title again, right? He lost the first time around. He lost clean. And there really isn't a way to justify him challenging CM Punk again if it isn't for him winning the Rumble or winning the Chamber or winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. But I think him winning the Rumble would absolutely show that he has arrived as WWE's next big thing, right? Next huge superstar, next just megastar. So Braun Breaker comes in. I also want him to have the most eliminations of anyone in the Rumble. Break, I think it's Gunther that has the record now. Break Gunther's record for most eliminations. Have him eliminate Gunther. I don't care. I think that Braun Breaker needs to come out of this looking strong. He needs to come out of this looking like an absolute badass. And I think him winning it would not be a terrible idea to then go after CM Punk. I think we could even make this a triple threat match, incorporate Seth Rollins once he's ready, and have this match just be three dudes that absolutely hate each other. Actually, it'd be really easy to incorporate Seth Rollins. He lost the title without losing the title. He had to vacate it. So, oh look, we have this Braun Breaker versus CM Punk match set up. Oh look, Seth Rollins back. Hey, I never lost my title. Boom, triple threat match at Mania. I think that's the best move, honestly. Another really fun winner for this Rumble, and again, someone who is at the cusp of just becoming an ultra megastar, someone who's like absolutely loved by the fans. He's an absolute worker. He can absolutely go. He is a monster in the ring. I think that person is no other than Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is ready and primed to be a WWE champion. Unfortunately, he took a few weeks off, a couple of months off, needing to go get dental surgery. They had that whole him being attacked in the back, and who was it? Everyone assumes it's Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre says it's not him. I think it's Cody Rhodes. But if WWE just wants to go the obvious route and blame this attack on Drew McIntyre, I think we have a perfect storyline for that title. Drew McIntyre is our champion. Jacob Fatu came back, whether it be accidentally or on purpose. He helped him get that title. And if WWE wants to say that Drew McIntyre was the person who attacked Jacob Fatu, perfect. If you want to say that Cody Rhodes was the person who attacked Jacob Fatu, we can go that route too, right? Jacob Fatu wins the Rumble. He goes after Drew McIntyre as a champion. Cody Rhodes is here being like, hey, I lost this championship because of Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu interfered in my steel cage match. The whole point of the cage is that no one can come in or out, right? Like, you win by leaving, but it keeps everyone else out. It is a cell for a reason. Jacob Fatu interfered in my match and allowed Drew McIntyre to win this title from me. So total justification there. Again, if you want to make this a triple threat match between the three of them, I don't hate that idea. But I think that Jacob Fatu winning the Royal Rumble would do so much for him, would do so much for WWE as a whole. And the whole point of this is building new stars, right? We don't want the same people winning it over and over again. I don't want to see a Roman Reigns winning it, because what's the point of that? Roman Reigns can show up on any given Friday or Monday and just ask for a title shot, and they're going to give it to him because it's Roman Reigns. So the whole point of the Rumble is to establish new stars, and Jacob Fatu is ready to be a star. So take it, WWE, and do something with it. And finally, someone who has been teased for weeks and weeks and weeks. He had a match against Cody Rhodes at Saturday night's main event, and that match was interrupted. It ended in a no contest and a disqualification because Drew McIntyre interfered in that match, and that person is Oba Femi. We've been teasing Oba Femi for what? The last 4 shows on WWE, the last 2 Raws, the last 2 Smackdowns. We're probably going to keep getting more teases. I don't want him to join the main roster until after the Rumble. I think he needs to make his debut in the Rumble. He needs to absolutely destroy everyone, and he needs to walk away as the winner. I want him coming toe-to-toe in the Rumble against people like Brock Lesnar. I want him to be in the Rumble against people like Gunther. I want him to be in the Rumble against people like Roman Reigns. And I want him to just come out on top and destroy all of them. I want him to come in as an unstoppable monster. I want him to break Roman Reigns' record. I want him to go after both champions, be undisputed champion, be a champion for more than 2,000 days, and just absolutely demolish Roman Reigns' record, because he can, because he's believable as a champion. He's believable as a monster, and this dude can do so much for WWE. Just Oba Femi at the top of the game would do so much for the product. Don't give me this shit about Cody Rhodes is going to beat him at WrestleMania. No! Oba Femi is a monster, and he should be booked as such, and we should start by giving him the Rumble, giving him the main event at WrestleMania, and giving him one of the 2 titles for now. So Oba Femi would be the most fun, the best choice, and my number 1 pick for winning the Royal Rumble. And yeah, I want the WrestleMania match to be against Drew McIntyre. I want to see Oba Femi versus Drew McIntyre for that championship. How amazing would that match be? Just two big, beefy men slapping man meat. All right, now that I've had a chance to calm down, thank you guys so much for joining me today. Let me know in the comments what you think. Who do you think are some fun choices to be the Royal Rumble winners, both on the women's and the men's? I think WWE needs to focus more on the women's division. There are just absolute superstars there. There's women that are just waiting to become absolute superstars. And WWE just doesn't focus on the women's division as much anymore. I love what they're doing with the tag team scene. I love how they're incorporating all of these big, huge stars and making this tag team titles seem like the most important titles on the roster. But WWE keeps saying that the women's storylines just don't justify a WrestleMania main event. Well, WWE, you are the ones who book the stories. Book better stories, write better stories, and make them justify a WrestleMania main event. Anyway, though, I digress. I can go on and on about this women's wrestling soapbox that WWE just doesn't know what it's doing sometimes. Saudi Rumble. Let me know who you think will be the winner. Let me know who you think the most fun winner out of the ones I chose could be. Let me know if I'm missing anyone, especially in the women's division. Let me know if there's someone that you think would be a really fun winner that I just overlooked and isn't fair. But anyway, though, until next time, as always, make sure to drop a like since you made it this far. Make sure to hit up another one of my videos. I do some cool stuff here. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't. But check them out anyway. And if you haven't done so already, make sure to subscribe. I'd love to talk wrestling with you. Hit me up in the comments. Let's have a conversation. Anyway, though, as always, until next time, have a nice day.